Imagine a tiny golden drop falling from a jar, glistening under the sunlight. That's honey, a gift from nature, known for its sweet taste and incredible aroma. But what happens when you decide to make this delight part of your routine? What if I told you that eating honey every day for 30 days could reveal secret powers you never imagined? Let's embark on this journey together. Think back to the last time you tasted a spoonful of honey. Do you remember the sweet flavor spreading across your mouth and the comforting sensation it brought? Now, imagine doing this daily and watching how your body starts to change. You feel more energetic, vitality flows through you, and who knows, maybe your skin even improves. In this video, we'll explore the incredible transformations that might occur when you make honey your health ally. Get ready for a fascinating journey and surprising discoveries. If you're curious to try this, stay with me, and together we'll unveil the secrets of honey. Before we continue, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Here, you'll find a series of videos like this one, designed to help you improve your health effectively. Honey is a very special part of our history and has been present in people's lives for thousands of years. In ancient times, it was called the food of the gods because it was one of the first sweet things our ancestors could access. And imagine this. Long before sugar and candies existed, the only truly sweet thing people could find was honey. Even the fruits of that era weren't as sweet as honey. Did you know that honey is the first food that was ever processed? But don't worry, this processing happens naturally. Bees are the true heroines of this story. They travel from flower to flower, collecting nectar, and with a touch of magic, transform that nectar into honey. To produce just half a kilo of honey, bees need to visit over 2 million flowers. Yes, that's right. It's like traveling around the world several times. The most impressive part? During its entire life, a single bee produces less than a gram of honey. Bees are incredibly important, not just for honey, but because they pollinate about 70% of the fruits and vegetables we eat. Now, in our modern day, we know that sugar can be a bit risky for health. But how is it that honey, which is also full of sugar, can be good for us? In this video, we'll explore various claims about honey's benefits and discover which are true, which are false, and which fall somewhere in between. One of the most popular myths is that eating honey before bed helps you sleep better. They say this happens because honey raises insulin levels in the body, which helps convert tryptophan into serotonin and then into melatonin, the sleep hormone. But is it really a good idea to raise insulin levels for our health? Let's find out together. Another interesting belief about honey is that it can help improve learning and reduce anxiety. This is said to occur because honey contains glucose, which our body quickly absorbs. But here's a curious fact. When you eat something that causes your blood glucose levels to spike, you may experience a roller coaster of emotions. At first, you feel great, full of energy, but then comes the crash and everything seems a bit dull. What we really want is to keep our blood glucose stable like a smooth road, so our mood remains steady and balanced. Another idea many people have is that honey can work miracles for gut health. This happens because it contains prebiotics, which act as healthy snacks for the good bacteria living in your gut. Some people believe this can even help with weight loss, as honey is full of interesting nutrients. But be cautious. We shouldn't be swayed only by the good things we hear. Honey is amazing, but it's important to remember that bees are much more than honey producers. They are vital for biodiversity, helping sustain the life of many plants and animals. So, what do you think about all of this? Let's discover more about the superpowers of honey and how it can influence our body and health in incredible ways. Let's simplify things so everyone can understand. Next time you hear people talking about sugar, honey, or agave, you'll feel like you're part of the conversation. The sugar found in many foods is the simplest kind, called glucose. Think of it as a small ball your body loves to use for energy. There are also other types of balls, like fructose, which work differently in the body. You don't need to memorize these complex names, but it's good to understand that how these little balls combine makes a big difference. Glucose can be used by any cell in your body, while fructose and galactose need a little help from the liver to be processed. When glucose and fructose combine, they form a sugar called sucrose, like two children holding hands. And in honey, we also find a sugar called maltose, which is like two glucose balls joined together. So the next time you hear about these sugars, you'll know they're like different types of energy balls your body uses to function properly. Isn't that fascinating? Let's talk about the sugars found in honey. It's as if honey has a party with 3 different types of sugar balls, but at its core, it's mainly about 2: glucose and fructose. Now, if you're wondering what that means, let me explain. Inside honey, there's a sugar called sucrose, which is like a pair of balls, 1 glucose and 1 fructose. But in honey, fructose and glucose don't stick together. They float freely, as if they're dancing at a party. Fructose makes up about 49.8% of honey, while glucose takes up about 43%. This is quite similar to table sugar, which is 50% fructose and 50% glucose. But honey has a surprise. It also contains maltose, which is like 2 glucose balls ready to separate and turn into energy. At the end of the day, honey is about 54% fructose and 43% glucose. If you remove all the water from honey, you're left with almost pure sugar, much like refined sugar. Now, I'd love to hear in the comments if you've heard of these honey characteristics before. Some people believe honey is great for diabetics because it has a different glycemic index. The glycemic index of honey is around 50, while white sugar is slightly higher. This difference comes from the flowers where the nectar is collected. But at its core, when you remove the water, honey is still mostly sugar. Fascinating, isn't it? Let's keep exploring this sweet world together. Let's conclude this adventure. In summary, honey is a gift from nature, full of flavor and surprises. It provides energy and can be a pleasant addition to your diet. But remember, moderation is key. Enjoy its sweetness, but don't forget to pair it with a balanced diet. Always remember that what we eat affects our bodies, and honey is just one part of the story. Thank you for joining this adventure. If you liked this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel for more health and longevity tips.